I'm joined now by the chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus, Congressman Emanuel Cleaver, Democrat from Missouri, who is also an ordained minister. Congressman, it's good to see you. Good morning.
Good to be with you.
So you've got this big summit tomorrow. Essentially, what is your message to several hundred clergy members, I understand, who will be there?
Yes, we'll have representatives from 9 denominations who actually pastor somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10 million people. And we're going to, first of all, equip them with the information they need to know about what they can say and what they cannot say in the church that would violate their 501c3 status with the IRS. In fact, we're going to have the IRS administrator there. We're going to have the Attorney General, Eric Holder, there. We're going to have the lawyers organization from around the country at ACLU, all giving ministers guidance on what they can and cannot do to, first of all, equip them with the information they need to know about what they can say and what they cannot say, what they can say and what they cannot say, what they can say and what they cannot say, what they can say and what they cannot say in the church that would violate their 501c3 status with the IRS.
Welcome to another video, and as always, before I get started, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash, and next double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. All right, this video is going to be going to the topic of the 501c3 charter. You've seen the video clip that I just played, okay, where you had that congressman and also an ordained minister, and he was talking about how they hold a conference with all the different denominations, and they tell them what they can and cannot say in order to avoid violating the terms of that 501c3 charter. All right, and this is pretty much what GMS has been talking about for years, okay, with these 501c3 Israelites in these different churches. Okay, pretty much they have a gag order on them. Okay, then they don't speak on certain things, because if they do, then they'll lose that tax exemption status and they won't be able to make as much money. All right, so the scriptures talks about this, and we're going to go ahead and dive right into that, and Lord's will is edifying to the elect. So I'm going to start off here in Micah chapter 3 and verse 1. And I said, hear I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment, who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them and their flesh from off their bones? Because essentially, it's like you're killing them. When you teach false doctrine, okay, that's going to lead to death. All right, but you sold out. Okay, you purposely teach false doctrine. You don't teach the name of the Lord. All right, you don't teach the prophecies because you want to get that money. All right, people wouldn't come if you taught that. That's number one. And then also on top of that, you lose that tax exemption status. It says, verse 3. Who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces, as with a pot, as flesh within the cauldron. Then shall they cry unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, and as they behave themselves ill in their doings. All right, so when that time of judgment comes, all right, we're going to know who the true men of the Lord are, because the men of the Lord that were doing right, they're going to receive special treatment. All right, but those, who are teaching false doctrines, you sold out for the bag. When that time comes and we really, really need the mercy of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, okay, he's going to turn his face from you in those days. Let's get a quick precept on that as well. Okay, Malachi chapter 3. And we'll get this in the MSG. All right. Okay, Malachi 3 in the MSG, and I'm going to get verse 17. It says, God of the angels' army said, they're all mine, all mine. Talking about the elect. Okay, these are the ones that were given unto Yahweh Shai by the Heavenly Father before the foundation of the earth. It says they'll get special treatment when I go into action. I treat them with the same consideration and kindness that parents give the child who honors them. Once more, you'll see the difference it makes between being a person who does the right thing and one who doesn't, between serving the Most High and serving and not serving him. All right, it's Malachi 3, 17 and 18 in the Message, the MSG translation. Okay, so when that time comes, the Lord's going to turn his face from these false prophets. It says, Micah 3 and 5. Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry peace, and he putteth not that into their mouths. They even prepare war against him. Okay, as the Lord said, Matthew 10 and 34, I come not to bring peace but a sword. Okay, most of these prophets out here, all right, these false prophets, they're prophesying of peace. And the prophets never came to this. The prophets always came to prophesy of war and of evil and of pestilence, as it says in Jeremiah 28 and 8. All right, it says, therefore, night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine. And the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. All right, so they're not going to have, the wisdom of the Lord, which they don't have it now. Okay, the Lord, some of them can teach you certain things, okay, but at the end of the day, they're really not bringing out the full counsel of the Lord, because why? They're false prophets. All right, they got a gag order on them. Okay, so, and I didn't break this part down, but the second part of that verse 5, all right, it says that they even prepare war against him. Okay, you're preparing war against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and against the saints, because you're leading them to death. You're leading them away from the truth. All right, it says, let's skip down to verse 8. But truly I am full of power by the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and of judgment and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgression and to Israel his sin. So that's where we come in at. Okay, GMS is most hated because we rebuke false prophets. Okay, Elder Menatazak Ba, he coined a term. He said, great millstone, okay, where false doctrines come to die. Okay, we rebuke them, and we rebuke them sharply and heavily, which is why we're pretty much the most hated amongst Christians and other Israelites. Okay, because we don't, I think GMS is the only camp that doesn't have a 501c3 charter, which is pretty sad. All right, but it's the Most High making that clear separation between the elect and the 2/3. All right, that's really what's going on. Okay, and if you can't spiritually discern that what's going on, then hey, I don't know what to tell you. This is Micah 3 and verse 9. It says, hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all equity. They build up Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. All right, got you calling on false names. Okay, I'm talking about IUIC. Okay, got you calling on JC. All right, that's not the Lord's name, and they know it's not the Lord's name. But why do they do that? Because they have a 501c3 charter. It says, the hearts thereof, the heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. Therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountain of the house as the high places of the forest. Okay, so the people that listen to you, okay, they're going to get completely destroyed, and all that blood is going to be on your hands. Okay, and that's why the reason why the scriptures say, 1 Timothy the 6th chapter, it talks about how the love of money is the root of all evil. For the love of money. Okay, people he'll do all kind of wicked and evil things. All right, which that's really one of the worst things you could do, is turn your back on Yahweh Shai. All right, that's one of the worst things you could do. That is really the worst thing you can do. But once again, all right, the Lord will come and he will punish and recompense those false prophets who are doing this. Okay, this is Jeremiah 6 and 13. It says, for from the least of them even to the greatest of them everyone is given to covetousness, and from the prophet even unto the priest everyone dealeth falsely. Okay, so everyone of Jacob, or not all of them, because the Lord always has a remnant, all right, but the vast majority, okay, whether they call themselves Christians or Catholics, or Israelites, the vast majority of them are given to covetousness. All right, what do you see on most of these different Israelite groups? Hit the cash app, brother, all that kind of stuff. All right, let's get another precept on that. Okay, I think it's Psalms 119. Let me see. I know it's Psalms 119. I just can't remember exactly where it's at. I'll type it in. It tells you, boom, Psalms 119 and verse 36. It says, incline my heart unto thy testimonies and not to covetousness. Okay, this is what we ought to be praying for. All right, because this is why people get these 501c3 charters, because they want that tax money. They're thinking about all the dollars that they're going to be put into their pockets. All right, and what's that going to lead to? It's going to lead to destruction. It's going to lead to death for those prophets and those who take heed unto those false prophets. All right, but it has to be this way. This is prophecy that you would have men that would do this. Okay, you'd have that's what Judas did. Judas betrayed Yahushua, for a few pieces of silver. All right, and then ended up hanging himself after that. Okay, why? Because hey, cursed. All right, you're cursed when you do wickedness, when you turn away from the 100% truth, when you teach false doctrine. Okay, you're blotting yourself out of the book of life. Okay, this is Jeremiah 48:10. It says, "Cursed be he that doeth the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood." And why are you doing that? Because you're trying to seek love. You're trying to appease that 501c3 charter, your handlers. Okay, because most of these guys are, like I said, they're bought and paid for. If you have a 501c3 charter, you're bought and paid for. All right, and the guy, like I said, he said it in the clip. He said they have to go over what they can and cannot say. All right, and hey, that's you're not supposed to hide any counsel of the Lord. You're supposed to bring it all out, 100% fully. All right, and ironically, one of the first things to go, okay, when a camp starts, teaching false doctrine, 9 times out of 10 they got a 501c3 behind them, and one of the first things to go is the name of the Lord. Okay, this is the book of Acts chapter 5. We're going to get an example of that here in the scriptures, and I'm going to start at verse 12. All right, it says, "And by the hands of the apostles were many signs and wonders wrought among the people, and they were all with one accord in Solomon's porch." It says, "And of the rest durst no man join himself to them, but the people magnified them, and believers were the more added to the Lord, multitudes both of men and women. Insomuch that they brought forth the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and couches, that at the least the shadow of Peter passing by might overshadow some of them." That's the kind of faith that people had based off of the miracles that were being performed, okay, by the apostles. It says, "There came also a multitude out of the cities round about unto Jerusalem, bringing sick folks, which were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed every one. Then the high priest rose up, and all they that were with him, which is the sect of the Sadducees, and were filled with indignation." All right, so back then you had the wicked of the scribes and the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees, because not all of them were wicked, but they didn't believe on Yahushua, and they also had joined unto Esau. They had been given and allotted high positions within the Judaic society, okay, and they didn't want to lose that, so they bowed down. Okay, they bowed down to the beast. Some willingly, some unwillingly. Some knowingly and some unknowingly. But it says they were filled with indignation and laid their hands on the apostles and put them in the common prison. Okay, but the angel of the Lord by night opened the doors and brought them forth and said, "Go, stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life." Okay, so that's what they did. Okay, the angels helped them to escape. All right, and they went and they taught. And I'm going to skip down. Okay, I'm going to skip down to let's see, verse 25. When the centurions and when the wicked scribes and the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees saw that they had been out of the prison, they escaped, and that they were out teaching, this is what they said. It says, "Then came one and told them, saying, Behold, the men whom ye put in prison are standing in the temple and teaching the people. Then went the captain with the officers and brought them without violence, for they feared the people, lest they should have been stoned. And when they had brought them, they set them before the council, and the high priest asked them, saying, Did not we straitly command you that ye should not teach in this name? And behold, you have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine, and intend to bring this man's blood upon us. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, We ought to obey the Most High rather than men." Okay, so you notice, okay, the wicked scribes and Pharisees, they said, did we not straightly command you that you should not teach in this name? So whenever a different group gets a 501c3 charter, one of the first things that goes is the name of Yahushua. Okay, they start calling on Jesus once again. All right, and pretty much virtually 100% of all Christian and Catholic churches have a 501c3 charter. That's just part of their protocol, but they're supposed to do that because they're not in the role of the elect. Okay, but you that know your Israelites and the prophecies, all right, good and darn well that you're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be teaching in false names. All right, you're supposed to be bringing out prophecy. Okay, you're not supposed to be teaching damnable heresies. Especially if you're an Israelite. All right, but once again, okay, a lot of guys, he sold out. They took a bag. Okay, especially we believe IUIC. All right, Bishop Nate, $150 million man, and used to teach in the name of the Lord, used to teach Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, but now, he's calling on God and Jesus. All right, what's the one I'm looking for? Coincidentally, he's changed the names of the Lord, and he's worth $150 million. Ain't no coincidences. We know exactly what happened, but he sold out, and many more. Why? Because as we read in Jeremiah 6:13, that the priests and the prophets are given to covetousness. All right, let's go here to Jeremiah the 23rd chapter, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. I'm gonna start from the top. It says, "Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai." It says, "Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith the Lord." Okay, so he's going to punish these false prophets, for teaching against the true names, man. Okay, and teaching false doctrines, because IUIC pretty much teaches Christianity. They teach Christianity, with the laws, but everything else is for the most part Christian, and they change doctrines constantly. All right, but that name is extremely important, and I've done many videos on it. I can make another one. It's all over the prophecies that the Lord would reveal his name to the elect before that end. All right, and that we are to call on that name for salvation. Okay, so that's what they're doing. Okay, they're scattering the flock by teaching them, in the name of Baal, in the name of Jesus. All right, because that's not the name of the Lord. Okay, the Son of the Most High exists. All right, we worship him as we worship the Father, but his name is not Jesus, and they know that, but they're still continuing to do so, still continue to preach in that name. Jeremiah 23:9, "Mine heart within me is broken because of the prophets, all my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, and like a man whom wine hath overcome, because of the Lord, and because of the words of his holiness. For the land is full of adulterers, because of swearing the land mourneth. The pleasant places of the wilderness are dried up, and their course is evil, and their force is not right." It says, "For both prophet and priest are profane, yea, in my house have I found their wickedness, saith the Lord. Wherefore, their way shall be unto them as slippery ways in the darkness, they shall be driven on and fall therein. For I will bring evil upon them, even the year of their visitation, saith the Lord. It says, I have seen the folly in the prophets of Samaria, they prophesied in Baal, and caused my people Israel to err. I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem an horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers, that none doeth return from his wickedness. They are all of them unto me as Sodom, and the inhabitants thereof as Gomorrah. Alright, that's pretty heavy. Okay, I'm going to skip down to verse 16. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain, they speak a vision of their own heart, and not out of the mouth of the Lord. They say still unto them that despise me, the Lord hath said, ye shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. These people despise Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They despise the prophecies. Okay, yet, especially in the Christian church, man, they really, when you start reading prophecies, it freaks them out because it completely destroys modern day Christianity, their whole doctrine. All right, so they despise the Lord, yet their pastors are telling them that they're gonna have peace. America's gonna be great again. He's gonna heal this place, and that's there's gonna be peace. That's not according to prophecy. The Lord said, I came not to bring peace, but a sword. I came not to bring peace, but division. Okay, these are the things that are coming. Okay, I'm gonna skip down. It says, let's see, verse 21. I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my words, what is the counsel of the Lord? The prophecies. If they taught according to what the Bible actually says, okay, like I said, the prophecies, what the Lord is going to do, then what? Okay, it says, then they should have turned them from their evil way and from the evil of their doings. All right, but they're not teaching them that. Okay, they're teaching them that it's okay to call on false names. They're teaching them that's okay to break certain laws, which the thing about it is that the law is not going to save us. We know that. All right, but at the same time, okay, you got dudes, just willfully being disobedient. All right, and they're okay with it. They don't rebuke it. They don't sanction it. Why? Because they have the 501c3 charter. Okay, and they don't want to offend anyone, because if people leave, that means less money for them. All right. Continuing on, it says, verse 23. Am I a power at hand, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and not a power far off? Can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him, saith the Lord? Do not I fill the heaven and earth, saith the Lord? And here's the point. It says, I have heard what the prophets said. They prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed and I have dreamed. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart. So like, here's the point right here. Verse 27. Which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. All right. Which Baal, is really representative of a deity that is the chief deity going against the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. People always will worship Baal. Okay, and today, all right, Baal, which really, if you go down the line, it came into the Greeks as Serapis Christus, and then became Zeus, Jupiter, and then Isus Christos, and today is Jesus Christ, because that name and the conglomeration of different idols that it encompasses are pretty much the main idol of the beast system. All right, which goes against the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. All right, so they have, as it says, I'm gonna read that one more time. Jeremiah 23 and verse 28. It says, 27. Which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. All right, and once again, why do they do this? Because they have a 501c3 charter. Okay, so just I'm gonna close out with that. Just beware, of these different groups. Okay, you see somebody has a 501c3 charter, it's automatic red flag. Okay, because they do have specific orders, of things they can say, things they can't say. And most of them are, like I said, they're paid off. All right, even the ones that seem to be opposing the beast system, they're paid opposition. All right, they're designed to lead you astray. Okay, their handlers tell them what to say, which is the reason why a lot of these groups come up with these weird doctrines. They change doctrines all the time instead of sticking to the original or the 100% truth. They come up with these weird different doctrines because they're being paid off. All right, but the Lord, He sees it all. And when the day of visitation, they're going to be destroyed, and the true prophets will be rewarded. All right, so just keep that in mind. Okay, with that being said, Yahweh Rachazah, meaning Heavenly Father's will. This was edifying, and as always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and until next time, Shalom.